What is your never again brand, item, store, or restaurant? Temptations cat treats. There's something in those things that turn cats into absolute junkies. AT&T from back in the days of long distance said they'd get me a good rate to Thailand, which we call all the time. Bill comes and it's 10x the advertised rate. I call. The first guy can't fix the bill. I escalate to a manager. He says, "You are correct. I'll fix your bill." Next day he calls back and says, "We've decided not to fix your bill." Ohio Savings Bank. They charged me $300 over the span of a year because, unlike normal debit cards, every time I put my PIN in instead of signing, it charged me an extra $1.50. By the time I caught it, most of the charges were past the 30-day refund policy, so they gave me $10 as a refund. I didn't make a fuss because I know it's not the worker's fault, but I did withdraw all my money immediately and switched banks. Fuck that place. Planet Fitness. Moved back to my home state from SF. Forgot to cancel my membership. Tried from the app. Nope. Tried from my local Planet Fitness. Nope. Said I had to mail in a copy of my license ANS proof of membership. So I cancelled that credit card because that was easier than getting my membership cancelled. Dollar Tree shredded cheese. Just don't. Please don't be like me and try it. Yours clothing. I got 3 hoodies for £72 plus £5 delivery, and they were the lowest possible quality you could imagine. Paper-thin fabric and some sort of light plastic zipper. On 2 of the hoodies the zips were broke. The other one was on backwards. There was no design, just plain, but the coloring was off and some parts of it didn't look the same as they did on their online pics. One of them wasn't even the same size as the other 2 despite the label saying it was. That one also had some issue on the front. I took them back for a refund and the shop assistants were pretty shitty about it as well. I had to email if I wanted delivery refunded because they wouldn't do it in store. After all of that I kept getting harassed by marketing texts even though in my account I unsubscribed from everything. DoorDash. When 50% of my orders never made it to me, and one of the drivers cusses me out for having the audacity to ask for my food, they go on the never again list. Sprint. Couple of years ago they let someone buy over $2,000 worth of phones in my mom's name. They didn't ask for ID or anything. They got an address but it was off by a couple of numbers. My mom didn't notice for a couple of months when her credit got flagged when they were trying to get approved for a loan or something. She fought with Sprint to get the charges removed from her credit. We've never had Sprint before, so don't know how that was a massive oversight, especially with no ID and the wrong address. For me it's Sonic Restaurant, not Hedgehog. As someone who has worked their fair share in food industry, I'm always super understanding. Until the Sonic near my house gave me chemical food poisoning. The outside of the bag was covered in orange degreaser and some got into my food. But I didn't realize that until it was already consumed. Within 10 minutes of eating I felt immediately sick. I noticed a citrus smell on the bag and knew that it was the same degreaser my own restaurant uses. Haven't been to a Sonic since and I don't plan on going back. Greyhound. I will never step foot on one of their buses again. Every single time I've rode with them, something catastrophic happens. From buses breaking down to felons getting arrested mid-trip. I think it's safe to say I've had enough. Edit. Story time as requested by you. Mom can't sleep to the saga. It's a little long lol whoops. So in my sophomore year in college a few years ago I was on my way back home for Thanksgiving. Surprisingly, everything went smoothly with booking and boarding the bus for my trip. Naturally, I sat in a row with no people in it so I could secure a window seat. That way I can listen to music and stare out the window the whole time to avoid people. Little did I know, I was in for a surprise. Some random guy decided he's going to sit right next to me. I thought nothing of it since the bus was getting crowded anyway. So it seemed inevitable that the vacant seat next to me would be filled. I decided not to be so antisocial and made small talk with the guy. Turns out, he just got out of jail, on his way to wherever to start the next chapter in his life. I'm not put off by it at all and was genuinely happy for him since he seemed like a good guy. As the conversation came to a close, we were actually about halfway to our destination. I guess we were both astonished by how the time flew because he told me he was going to go smoke in the bathroom in the back. Cool, I said as he got up and left. I glance back at the bathroom and see the big "No Smoking" sign right over it. Geez, I don't think this guy is supposed to do that, I thought to myself. The smell of cigarette smoke quickly filled the already foul-smelling bus, alerting the bus driver that someone was obviously smoking in the bathroom. The woman driving the bus made an announcement to remind passengers that we were not allowed to smoke in the bus, but the deed had already been done, and my new felon friend kept going. The bus driver gets really mad at this point and pulls over. I knew instantly that this would add at least a good 20 minutes. But that was a gross underestimate. Felon guy waltzes back out the bathroom clearly smelling like cigarette smoke. And that's when the driver starts to berate him via intercom. Apparently, she had heard his story about how he just got out of jail and did him a favor by letting him on for free. What a nice lady. At least before she got mad. It quickly escalated to her calling the police to escort him off of the bus as they continued to argue in the funky bus. It was an awkward half-an-hour wait before the police arrived to remove and arrest the felon. By that time an hour had already passed and I was already pissed. The traffic the rest of the way there was terrible too, adding another hour to the trip. Silly me for not learning my lesson after that trip, I guess. Comcast, whichever brands incessantly advertise at me. Dodge Ram, bought new. Had all service and oil changes done at the dealership. Paid above the monthly note and managed to pay it off about 6 months early. At 4.5 years, 47k miles it throws a rod. Took the issue all the way up the chain. Was told that because the note was paid off, that we got our money's worth on the truck. Our expectation that our truck should function beyond the length of the loan was unrealistic. F***CK Dodge. Asterisk never asterisk again. Tesco value baked beans. Target brand tampons. I'll skip the details. If you know, you know. Wells Fargo. 1. Fake account scandal. 2. Auto loan insurance scandal. 3. Mortgage loan scandal number 1. Changing customer terms. 4. Mortgage loan scandal number 2. 2008. 5. PP loan scandal. Smoky Bones. I ordered loaded nachos from them recently. It arrived. It was basically a pile of plain corn chips with maybe a tablespoon of cheese sauce. It included several tiny tablespoon portions of salsa, tomatoes, jalapenos, and sour cream. This was $13. Total waste of money. I will never order from them again. Victoria's Secret. Overpriced for mere quality. Dell. For laptops anyway. They have this devious little feature. The charging cable has a thin data wire inside that tells the computer the charger is from Dell. If you plug in a charger that does not have this, even if the voltage is correct, the computer will throttle the CPU way down by sending false overheating signals, and will only increase the battery charge if the machine is off. To make this way worse, that data pin wears out and breaks very easily. And even if your charger still works, which it often does. It is borderline unusable, since you can only get a replacement from Dell. Replacement charges are unusually expensive. This feature cannot be turned off in any intended way. There is a program you can use to bypass it by disabling the specific type of thermal CPU throttling they use. But that only works on Intel CPUs. If you have an AMD, tough luck. And even if you don't, you shouldn't have to disable hardware safety features using third-party software just to use hardware that is perfectly functional except for one unnecessary part that is designed to break.